Everything changed the day a new client walked into the bank. Tall, confident, with a slight smile and a look that seemed to know more about me than I did myself. My name's Emily. I'm 26 and I work at a small branch of a bank in downtown Seattle. My life was measured and predictable. Work, meeting up with friends, occasional trips out of town, and of course, my boyfriend Alex, whom I'd been with for 2 years. We didn't live together, but we saw each other almost every day, and it seemed to me that everything was going as it should. Good afternoon, he said, approaching my window. I'd like to open a new account. Of course, I smiled, habitually entering data into the system. Your name? Dylan. And yours? Emily. Beautiful name, he said, lingering on my name tag a little longer than necessary. From that day on, Dylan started coming to the bank more and more often. Sometimes he needed to clarify details about a deposit, sometimes to transfer money, sometimes just to ask how I was doing. I laughed, telling my friends that I had a personal client. But deep down, I enjoyed his attention. One day, when I was about to leave for home, he was waiting for me at the entrance. Emily, maybe we could grab a coffee, he asked, not hiding his smile. I have a boyfriend, I replied, feeling my cheeks flush. I'm not suggesting anything inappropriate, just coffee. All right, I agreed, surprising myself. We sat in a small coffee shop on the corner, talking about life, books, and travel. Dylan was attentive, witty, and I caught myself thinking how easy it was to be with him. He didn't ask unnecessary questions, didn't try to find out about my boyfriend, just listened and laughed at my stories. Do you do this often? I asked as we were leaving. Do what? Invite girls from the bank for coffee. Only if they're like you. He looked into my eyes, and I felt something tighten inside. From that evening, our meetings became regular. We walked in parks, watched movies, sometimes just sat in his car listening to music. I was still seeing Alex, but it felt like a crack had appeared between us. I became more irritable, catching myself thinking about Dylan instead of him. You've changed, Alex said one day as we sat at his place. What do you mean? You've become distant. I'm just tired, I lied. At some point, I'd stopped resisting my feelings. One day after a walk, Dylan kissed me, and I didn't pull away. Everything happened naturally, gently, passionately, as if we'd both been waiting for it. Are you sure? He asked when we were alone in his apartment. Yes, I whispered. And at that moment, it felt like I was making the right choice. At the same time, I kept seeing Alex. I couldn't bring myself to leave him. Couldn't confess to myself or to him. Everything was mixed up, guilt, passion, fear of being found out. After a couple of weeks, Alex started acting strange. He asked a lot of questions, wanted to know where I'd been, with whom. I chalked it up to jealousy, but one day he said, I think you're hiding something. Alex, stop! I snapped. You don't trust me. I just want to be sure you're being honest with me. A few days later, I accidentally saw Alex meeting with Dylan at a cafe across from the bank. They sat across from each other, tense, barely making eye contact. Later, Dylan himself told me about that meeting. Alex asked me to find out if you were cheating on him, he said when we were at his place. He didn't know that I've been in love with you for a long time. You knew he was my boyfriend? Yes. From the very beginning. I didn't want to get involved, but I couldn't resist. I wanted to be with you, Emily. Nothing else mattered anymore. Did you talk to him about me? Yes. He asked what was going on between us. I told him you had to make your own choice. And you? I told him I love you and I want you to be with me. I felt everything inside me collapse. I'd been used, tested, betrayed, and the one who seemed sincere turned out to be no better. After that conversation, I never saw either Alex or Dylan again. They disappeared from my life as suddenly as they had appeared together. Now I often think about how easy it is to lose everything that once seemed so solid. Sometimes betrayal comes not only from strangers, but from those closest to you. I don't know what happened to Alex and Dylan. Maybe they still blame each other, or maybe they've already forgotten about me. I'm learning to live again, without lies, without games, without illusions. And maybe that's the most honest thing I can do for myself.